we have another example for a domain. But this is a little different, guys, because we got ourselves a fraction. And I know you guys love fractions, but and I know I'm saying that sarcastically, but I'm gonna make you see how easy this can be. Now, in other videos, we talked about domain. What is domain, guys? Is basically our x. What can we plug in to get an answer that's true? Well, a fraction has something interesting about them, guys, that you need to remember. Now, with your calculator, what would happen if you were to do this? What's 5 divided by 0? If you do it on your calculator, you're going to see something like error on your calculator. Well, that's because it's not possible. You cannot divide a pizza by 0 amount of people, right? Same reasoning. So once again, in math, or your calculator says error, in math, we call this undefined. It's when you have a 0 at the bottom of a fraction. And I've covered undefined before. Usually usually you would see also the symbol is a 0 with a slash on it. Well, let's decide. We don't care about this, right? In this, when we're trying to find domain in a fraction, we want to know when it's not possible. So whenever the bottom is 0. Well, let's discuss. I want to figure out when this is a problem. Well, if you guys don't realize this, we actually have 3 parentheses. Do you see them? And when we have parentheses, it's always means multiplication. So you have parentheses next to each other. That means it's going to be multiplication. Well, what happens when you multiply in 2 numbers? How would you turn them into a 0? Well, very simple. Let's say we have x plus 10, parentheses, x minus 9, parentheses. Let's imagine this was 0. Wouldn't it turn all of this into just a 0? Yeah, because anything you multiply by a 0 is going to be a 0. Try this one out. X plus 10, parentheses, 0, parentheses, x minus 5. Again, if the middle parentheses is all of it is 0, the whole thing at the bottom is going to be 0, and it's also going to be undefined. And the last one, you guessed it. What happened if let's do it in green, if the first parentheses was 0? X minus 9, parentheses, x minus 5. Everything is going to give us 0 as well. So we need to figure out when is each one of these individual parentheses zeros. Well, let's look at the first one. X plus 10. What does x have to be for the first parentheses to be into a 0? Well, if you want this parentheses to be 0, well, x would have to be negative 10, right? Opposites. So we figured out for the first one. For this one, it cannot be negative 10. Let's look at the next one. X minus 9. Well, x cannot be what, guys, in this case? X cannot be, the opposite will be a positive 9, because 9 minus 9 will be 0 in the middle parentheses. So for the middle parentheses, x cannot be 9. And finally, for the last one, x minus 5. Well, x cannot be positive 5. Otherwise, the third parenthesis will be 0. So this one cannot be 5. And there you have it, guys. We just found our domain. Our domain in this case is all real numbers. You can plug in anything that you want. But be careful. You got to mention this. All real numbers except when x is not equal. That symbol with a slash on the equal sign means not equal. All real numbers except when x is not equal to negative 10, positive 9, or positive 5. So you have to write all that or understand it on Khan Academy on the homework to make sure to click on all of them. Which ones makes the domain undefined. And that's how you solve domain on a fraction.